Presented by Stellar Roofing.
Where else would you rather be than here in Elma for week number 2 of the Law Office of William Mattar's Thursday Night Lights presented by Stellar Roofing? What a matchup tonight. We are in division, Class B2, Depew at 1-0, visiting the 0-1 Redhawks of Iroquois. Great to be with you once again. Brian Tripp, the coach, Scott Pilkey, and the third member of our crew, Tyler Millen, coming up in just a moment. Scott, now we're in division, stakes high in week number 2, two teams with high aspirations here in 2025.
One of the best quarterbacks in the state, one of the top offensive linemen and defensive ends. Could be a great one tonight.
All right, you teed it up perfectly. Let's take a look at our players to watch for tonight's matchup. Justice Kleitz into his 4th year as the starting quarterback, set a Western New York record last year with 3,000-plus passing yards, 3rd in the entirety of the state. He's an All-American kid, the leader of this offense and the leader of this Redhawks team. You mentioned who's going to slow him down. How about Roman Boyer, the defensive end, number 11 for Depew? 4 sacks, a program record in week number 1. His team had 7 sacks. Boyer himself just 3 sacks last year. What a way to start this 2025 campaign. Here's tonight's Stellar Roofing. Keys to the game, the best at what we do.
For Depew, the key is going to be clock control and eliminate the big plays. On the Iroquois side of the ball, it's stay on schedule and be physical early and often.
What a night for high school football. Temperatures in the low 70s here at kickoff. You can see it. Settle on in. We've got a great matchup. Depew, Iroquois, high stakes for week 2 coming your way. Kickoff is next. Joe Pagano, the first-year head coach of the Depew Wildcats, couldn't ask for a better start. He's perfect, 1-0 in his career, the 1991 Depew graduate coaching his dream job. Meanwhile, for Iroquois, Robert Pizzanca is in his 9th season. He's done a terrific job, also a teacher at the school, and a Buffalo guy through and through as well. 2 coaches squaring off here in week number 2. Temperature 71 degrees here at kickoff. Depew will kick it away to Iroquois. The home opener for Iroquois. High expectations this year. Both teams return a ton of talent, and we'll see Justice Kleitz and that offense right off the bat. Cole Straitzer kicks it away. Nick Skutnik and Nick Ciancio back. Skipping kick does not make it back to the deep returners, and it's returned down to the 42-yard line by Stefano Pesucci. And that's where we'll see the high-flying Iroquois offense for the first time tonight. And there is Justice Kleitz. We were just talking about him in the open. More than 3,000 yards last year. 14 for 24, a couple of touchdowns in an offense that was forced to throw frequently last week coming from behind against Grand Island.
Yeah, they just got to give him the protection that he needs to do what he needs to do. He's been usually a 70% completion rate last week was 58%. Just got to get back on his old numbers.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible what he has done during his 3 seasons as the starting quarterback. And the spotlight certainly on Kleitz and this Iroquois offense here tonight. So 1st and 10 from the 42. No surprise, comes out passing, has plenty of time to throw, and tries to scramble his way down the sideline, and he is dragged down after a 4-yard pickup. It's a good start for this offense. Bryden Baker made the stop. Let's take a look at that Iroquois offense. It's Kleitz, and then his top target is Nick Skutnik.
Yeah, these two have a history together, and also look for some big stuff here from TJ Domino, he's a big young man, great target, hurt last year, healthy this year.
Had great protection from that offensive line on the opening play, just no one open downfield, officially a 5-yard gain. That starting lineup brought to you by the law office of William Matar, hurt in a car, called William Matar. So after the scramble for 5, see if they go to the ground game for the first time tonight, and they do. Evan Falter carries and plunges forward for 3, but the ball comes out at the end. It looks like Iroquois able to get back on that football. It'll be a 3rd down and 2 as we take a look at that Depew defense. And a defense that was stout in week 1, bend but not break. And up front, Roman Boyer, Alex Belsky, Mason McGloin, a big defensive front with a couple of really good linebackers behind them.
Yeah, none of these teams have great depth, but their players are two-way guys they really rely on heavily. So this is going to be about conditioning later in the game.
An early 3rd down for Iroquois here on their opening possession. Back to Falter, and he goes off that left side. Got a great block, and he's into the 2nd level. Down the sideline, knocked out of bounds inside the 40-yard line. That's an Interstate Batteries 1st down. Interstate Batteries, outrageously dependable.
Looks like they've got a thing for that left side. That's the 3rd time that they've had pretty good gains on the left side of the line. They brought TJ across the board. That was a nice power, followed his blockers right up inside, broke it to the outside, exactly where you're supposed to do it.
Yeah, terrific start here for an offense. If they can find some balance here in week number 2, look out. They just did not run often in week 1. Quick delivery. There is a flag that comes in on the play. Weiser made the catch. It's a catch and run near another 1st down, but we'll have to check on the penalty. Weiser, 2 catches, 68 yards in week 1. And we'll get to hear from Al Fuller here for the first time. And it's coming back. Believe I heard number 68, Richard Donahue, a senior along that offensive line for a veteran offensive line.
Holding on the offense. Repeat 1st down.
Early in the year, you don't want to have penalties. Don't want to have penalties anytime, but frequently that's something that happens week 1, week 2.
There's some really good balance going on in their offensive play calls right now. A couple up on the inside, spreading out to the left and to the right, seeing where the weak holes are in the Depew defense.
So far, that small offensive line, Schiffauer 5'9", 180. Bednaz just a sophomore, 5'10", 215, holding up against that strong defensive front. Something we'll watch throughout the course of the night. And the throw over the middle is intercepted. Kane Cremeno picked it off, then lost the football, and Iroquois, on a give and go of possessions, gets the ball back.
That was Christmas all in one play. Everybody gave their white elephant gifts around, and Iroquois was lucky to get that ball back.
Because of the change of possession, it will be a 1st down and 10 now for Iroquois. Not sure where Kleitz was going with the football.
He didn't look at his progression like he usually does now. He threw 2 picks last week, which is uncharacteristic of him. I think because of his smaller offensive line, he has to get rid of the ball a bit faster, and that might take into account some of the reasons why he made that quick choice without seeing the Mike linebacker slide back into the zone. Nice job by Depew.
Over his first 3 seasons, only 17 total interceptions. That his 3rd already this year that you're talking about, Scott. Next play, though, you can just flush it out as your team gets the ball right back.
Nice 1st down.
Uncharacteristic way to pick up that 1st down. Kleitz, pressure again here, rolls to his right, heaves it downfield. Skutnik behind the defense trying to stay on his feet. He's down inside the 10 on the heave from the quarterback Kleitz.
Now, one of the biggest characteristics of this young man is not just his arm. We just said when the mic dropped into the field, when Mike dropped into the zone, he didn't see it. That one, he had vision of the entire field. That was a great job downfield. Great pass.
10 catches, a couple of touchdowns last week, and this nearly went all the way to the house.
See him get flushed here. He takes the shot, stays in, and delivers it on the money. Great work. That's why he's one of the best in the state.
First down brought to you by Interstate Batteries. They're now inside the Willoughby Insurance red zone. And it is a 1st and goal for Iroquois. Bouncing back from that interception, then he hits the deep ball. Pressure comes off the end, and Kleitz escapes that pressure. He felt the pressure. He is going to be dropped for a 2-yard loss on the sack. Belsky finally ties him up, but a ton of pressure again coming off the edge.
You know, Depew's playing really tough up front. They're getting good pressure. Expect things like a draw, maybe a little screen, a little drag, because they're bringing the heat on them right now.
That offensive line going to have its hands full with the defense that had 7 sacks in week number 1. Have yet to call Roman Boyer's name here tonight. Team leader in tackles and tackles for loss. Sacks last year, and then started his year with a bang in week 1 with 4 sacks. Just 2nd and goal. Pitch to Falter, and Falter has nowhere to go. They were anticipating that play perfectly on the outside. Bryden Baker polished him off.
Great job here. Just absolutely, everybody's taking care of their gaps, getting good penetration. Like you said, they anticipated that type of a play. This was a well-scouted defensive victory there. Nice job.
The defense that Joe Pagano said, his defensive coordinator, Rich Bryden Baker, Zach's dad, does such an excellent job of getting them in position, the communication all pre-snap critical. Into the red zone, but going the wrong way here at Iroquois. Big 3rd down. Can they get something back? How about to the end zone? It's caught! Touchdown, Iroquois! And it is Skutnik.
This was just a phenomenal pocket presence here. He feels the pressure, stays in, and delivers the ball perfectly. That's something that you can see is going to transfer into a college environment. Yeah, he might be throwing a couple picks, doesn't have as many weapons as he did last year, but boy, that was precise and right on the mark.
Our first ECMC touchdown of the night. Go where the Bills go, ECMC. And Skutnik, his favorite target, 10 catches, a couple of touchdowns last week. And he is on the receiving end of all 3 touchdown passes here in the early season for Justice Kleitz, and the offense stays on to go for 2.
Mike Evans on the Depew side of the ball is going to have his hands full all evening long.
Little play fake to Falter. A lot of traffic looking for Skutnik, and it's broken up incomplete by Bryden Baker.
What do you think their game plan is? Skutnik. Pretty nice job.
Bryden Baker able to deny that pass that time, but it's a 6-0 Iroquois lead. They strike. Bouncing back big after the early interception here on the law office of William Matar's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Stellar Roofing. And it's the Redhawks here at home, striking early in this opening quarter. Tyler Millen's the 3rd member of our team on this gorgeous night. He joins us now from down on the field. Tyler?
Thanks, Brian. Head coach Robert Pizanka talked about it with us earlier in the week, that they wanted to bring the intensity and they wanted a faster start. When they got it there with the touchdown from Justice Kleitz, favorite target, Skutnik. But this is a defense that did give up 263 rushing yards a week ago. As Pizanka was walking up and down his team, warming up, he was talking about bring it, bring it. He wants to see the physicality defensively, and let's see if they can have a better start defensively here as they pick up on their first series of the game.
Yeah, that's great stuff, Tyler, and we'll get to see that defense for the first time tonight. Remember, the quarterback Kleitz threw an interception, but it was turned right back over on the interception return. So they score technicality, but their second possession of the game. And a defense that he's talking about, Scott, that just never had an opportunity. They fell behind so quickly last week against Grand Island, something that an Iroquois team, very unfamiliar territory after 7 wins last year.
Well, as we see that they're trying to run the football, they're trying to do everything in their arsenal, but when you fall that far behind, it's difficult to do.
Good field position coming up here for Depew after the return by Velasquez, one of the up men, and ball will be placed at the 43-yard line. So who are they trying to contain? It's the quarterback, the junior Cole Schrader. Schrader 16 for 30, 233 yards, a couple of touchdown passes last week. He was the first sophomore quarterback in Depew history to throw for more than 1,000 yards last year, B3 honorable mention All-League, and now he's in his second season as the starting quarterback.
And keep an eye on the right tackle, Mason McGloin. He is a 6'5", one of the top guys in Western New York, already projected. They're going to run to his side like they just did all night long tonight.
So Jackson Quaiser diagnosed it perfectly, and he was able to bring down Bryden Baker for the loss. But there he is, big 77, Mason McGloin, as we take a look at the starting offense for Depew tonight. Our starting lineups are brought to you by the law office of William Matar. Schrader, Bryden Baker, they're going to try to find a ton of ways to get the ball into his hands. But you look at this front, it's that right side led by McGloin. This is a front that they'll lean on heavily tonight.
Absolutely, and that they were heavy run right last week, and I think you're going to see that continuation tonight.
They do say Bryden Baker got back to the line of scrimmage and actually gained a yard on that first down carry. It's 2nd down and 9. Fake it to Bryden Baker off the right side, and not much push along that offensive front to start. Ray John Vance, just a sophomore who they think really highly of, bottled up after a 2-yard gain. It'll be 3rd and long as we look at that Iroquois defense, and it is a defense led by its defensive ends as well. TJ Domino's a heck of a player, and then those linebackers all had a great identity and battle there in the middle. Brondo, Falter, and Schiffauer. That defense now faces a 3rd and 6, looking to get that football right back for the Red Hawks offense. Schrader to the air for the first time, has time, delivers over the middle, and a diving catch by Bryden Baker down here the 35-yard line.
Nice play. Best part of that was the pass pro. The quarterback stayed in the pocket, got rid of the ball, put it right on the money in perfect time.
Bryden Baker had 170 yards last week, 85 on the ground, 85 through the air. Tied for the team lead with 4 receptions and a big catch for an Interstate Batteries first down. That was on a 3rd and 6, all the way down to the 36-yard line. Looks like a broken play. Schrader makes something happen. Flags fly. Drills the football along the sideline, and it is caught by Luis Ayala, but we'll have to check on the marker. It was a bit of a mess from the start.
Well, what you saw with the motion, they went from their cover 2, they rolled right into a cover 3 and brought heat. You could tell that that's going to be their adjustment to any type of motion play. Give them that 2 deep pre-snap read, roll into a cover 3 or man coverage. At least that's what we saw the first time.
Where are you? Holding and eligible. You want the holding, right? Okay.
Love that little inside baseball there.
Got an eligible downfield, it's declined. We have holding on the offense. Repeat first down.
So 2 penalties against Depew on the same play. Pizanka takes the hold, and that will set the offense back 10 yards. There is Joe Pagano, the first-year head coach of Depew. He does call the Depew offense. Said his goal for years was to become the head coach of this program. Jumped out big early in week 1 against Dunkirk. Won it 28-21. Got some adversity late. He actually liked that his football team faced adversity in that opening game. Good run and physical run by Bryden Baker. Took it almost back to the original line of scrimmage with a 9-yard pickup.
Well, the last couple times they were in 2x2 or 10 personnel. Right here, they're in 20 personnel. This is standard isolation play. Fullback comes up on the outside. Great read by the running back. Bounces it out to field. Nice gain.
Running off that right side once again behind Parks and, of course, the big right tackle, McGloin. Sets up a 2nd and 11. First time here tonight that Depew has had the football. Trader right back to their workhorse, and look at the acceleration from Bryden Baker to the house. Touchdown! A lightning bolt through the hole. Bryden Baker takes it in. And just like that, a tie game.
Well, here we are. We're talking about Mason McGloin on the right, but then you got to take a look at Jacob Sharp. Jacob Sharp is the left guard. Did a great job. Kept his body square. You can tell he's coached by John Kling, who used to play offensive line for us at the University of Buffalo. Great job by the left side and the right side in that drive. I'll bet they're going to be running it more often.
That's his 2nd touchdown this year on the ground. Schrader for the point after, and that kick's good to give Depew the lead. 7-6, Depew in front. Both offenses off to a great start here as you're watching the law office of William Mattar's Thursday Night Lights presented by Stellar Roofing. Tonight's closed captioning is exclusively brought to you by Buffalo Fresh Fruit. What a night. What a venue, what a start. 7-6 ball game. Both offenses go down and score. A little hiccup on the way down for Iroquois, but a 7-6 game. And Joe Pagano pretty happy there with his offense over on that sideline.
One's doing it with the pass. The other one just did it with the run. And I think you're starting to see these two offenses settling into their game plans.
47 yards rushing for Bryden Baker on that drive, including the 37-yard touchdown run. Also had 17 yards receiving on that drive. And I think right now, if you're Iroquois, your offense is going to get the ball back, assuming they recover the kick there. Quaiser jumps on it at the 34. You're trying to figure out, how do you stop number 8? This guy's the whole package. Fast, physical, he can do it all.
Yeah, you see the power come up inside there, and he follows it. The timing was perfect between the snap, the quarterback, and the handoff and the block. That was untouchable. Great job. Great execution on that play.
And Joe Pagano told me yesterday, Scott, that he's an incredible athlete, national level track and field athlete. You could see him kick it into high gear there as he was coming down the home stretch.
Yeah, great body lean, right? High knees all the way through.
He's going to play both ways, as so many of these guys are tonight. How do you keep your best players fresh, and what do they have in the tank here on a warm week number 2? Another shot downfield for Skutnik, right off the bat and off the fingertips on a good throw from Kleitz.
Now, I know that TJ is a big target there, number 25, but right now you're seeing this young man is such a talent. He gets behind him, and he's been a force the last 2 years himself, and they're going to be going to him all night long. He needs a little help over there, I think.
A couple of catches, including the 15-yard touchdown grab on that scoring drive already here in this opening quarter for Iroquois. Might be a night of big shots for both offenses the way this has started. 2nd and 10, and a carry up the middle for 6 for Trey Pfeiffer.
Now that's a great read by the quarterback there. He had 5 in the box. He didn't even consider throwing the football. That was an automatic handoff.
And now you take a 2nd and 10, turn it into 3rd and 4, and it opens up the entire playbook.
Absolutely.
Pfeiffer, just a sophomore. That matches his longest carry from week 1. Again, an offense that didn't have a chance to run the football and establish the run because they fell so far behind. So a much better start that Robert Pizanka was looking for here in week number 2. Must get to the 44 for a first. And there's movement up front early from the right tackle, Owen Luders. That will drive any coach nuts.
And we talk about the Depew O-line, but Aiden Norris at that left guard has been doing a nice job so far.
As they talk longer here, you wonder if there is some movement on both
False start
sides.
on the offense. Repeat 3rd down.
It takes a 3rd and 4 and turns it into 3rd and 9, and it goes back into the hands of Kleitz. Well, if there's one guy you want at the reins when you're facing a 3rd and long here in Western New York, it's probably this guy.
Yeah, and, you know, Skutnik is going to be the target. As long as they keep him covered by one man, he's going to be getting that ball all night long.
If you can get some protection from Aiden Norris and friends up front. Skutnik is in motion. He looks his way. That's taken away. Delivers for Domino over the middle and over midfield into Depew territory. And another big 3rd down conversion for Iroquois.
Nice little adjustment there between those 2 players, between Domino and Skutnik. This time Skutnik takes the drag across, pulls everybody in with him. That opens up for Domino right down the middle in the seam. Good work.
Another look at this Interstate Batteries first down. Interstate Batteries outrageously dependable as these 2 top targets are for the quarterback Kleitz.
That was nice how you did that.
For week 2, I think I'm in midseason form. Our first time working together this year, my friend.
You're rolling it in, man.
There's the numbers for Domino coming in. He was dealing with a high ankle sprain much of last year. Still had a really good season, but they have high expectations for him here this year. Felt like it was an uncharacteristic performance for the entire team. They're just a little off kilter in week 1. This is a team that has, again, as we said in the open, both these teams, postseason aspirations. Nowhere to go for Trey Pfeiffer. He is thrown down for a loss on the play by Kane Cremino. Already had the pick, fumbled the pick, but he's having an excellent start to this game, the senior linebacker.
And at 5'5", 172 pounds, he sure plays a lot bigger than that. Here it is. You see him. Nobody takes him. They just sneak him up in there. And maybe that's the benefit of being 5'5" walking up, because nobody saw him in the gap unblocked.
No, not when you have a big guy like Norris up front and Donahue on that left side of the line. Another 2nd and long for this Iroquois offense. Trailing by 1 with 100 seconds left here in the opening quarter. Kleitz under pressure, does get it away. There's no receiver in the area, but he was hit from behind. And incomplete. Delano came off the right side, applying pressure again on Kleitz.
Great adjustment by the Depew defense. They started out that first series without bringing a lot of pressure. The last 2 plays, they've been bringing it, and they stopped it. Great work.
It's been an aggressive defense so far from Depew. They smell blood right now and getting after Kleitz, because if you can get him out of rhythm, right, that's the key to the game here for the defense.
That's going to be there. Sometimes he's going to get a big play behind you, but as long as you keep putting pressure on him, you might create more opportunities, like the interception you had that you fumbled in the first series.
Joe Pagano, he told that to his team this week too. Look, they're talented. They're going to make some plays. It's just, can you move on and deal with it? Skutnik gets the little shovel up the middle, and then he runs after the catch and spins for first down yardage and more. What a play. 19 yards and an Interstate Batteries first down.
You got to love the diversity of this offense, because they're moving him around. They put him downfield. He comes across again like he did in the last play. This time they give him a little flip underneath, and he gets vertical. Great run. Real physical player.
And that does go down as a passing play. That's the easiest 19 yards Kleitz may have this year. I'm sure he'll work for some others.
And they'll take whatever they can get right now to alleviate some of the pressure that he's been under.
More than 7,000 career passing yards coming into the night, and that looks like it will take us to the end of this opening quarter. What a ball game so far, 7-6, Depew in front, but Iroquois on the move when we come back for the second quarter. You're watching the law office of William Mattar's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Stellar Roofing. Saw the leaves starting to change on the drive out here to Iroquois High School tonight. By the way, we want to thank Pizza Delizia Italian Classics for providing our crew with food tonight. $5 off, by the way, the next large pizza. If you mention seeing this ad, the best tasting and top quality, just like the teams we have here tonight. And man, that lives up to the billing. What a sunset out over the lake. And wow, high school football is here. It's starting to feel like fall. It's starting to feel like a big game, even though it's week number 2.
Yeah, and both of these teams, we were just talking about in the break, the schemes that both of these teams are running, and you can just tell both of these squads are very well coached.
Justice Kleitz, 5 for 8, 105 yards, a touchdown and an interception in that opening quarter. And have not run the ball well so far tonight. Trey Pfeiffer, again, bottled up right near the line of scrimmage. Belsky brings him down, number 99 up front, along with Anthony Golba, the senior defensive end, number 58.
Going to see some nice adjustments here by both defenses. You know, Depew comes out and wants to take away that isolation play that beat them up in the last series, and they did a nice job. Both Depew came with blitzes. The key, you can tell, is trying to pressure Kleitzer, and also you're starting to see a little pressure coming from Depew to stop that run.
And I think we went through that entire first quarter. We've called 99 Belsky, the senior defensive tackle, a ton. We have not called Roman Boyer's name yet tonight. Pfeiffer off the right side, Belsky trying to track him down, but it's Kane Cremino, the middle linebacker, making the stop after a 3-yard gain. Another third and fairly long coming up here for this Iroquois offense, trying to get on schedule. So far, so good, though. They've been able to convert.
Yeah, you know, both teams have started off with pretty decent field position, and it's allowed them to do what they wanted to do. 3rd and 6 here, you're probably going to be going to the pass, but like we were talking about earlier, those 3rd and mediums are what they want to be able to be in to allow them to use all of their offense.
But in modern football, NFL, college, high school, it's really 4 downs, 3rd and 4th down now, something that you have to watch. This is a 3rd and 7 here, early minutes of this second quarter. Flag comes in. This may be a delay of game. They really are taking all of the play clock. And the flag did come in from the back judge. And it is a delay of game. And it makes a 3rd and long that much longer, 3rd and 12 coming up.
And that's usually something that, you know, you don't see a guy like Kleitzer do. He's somebody that would get that snap in. But again, this is part of their offense. To check with me on the sideline. And that's why it's a multiple West Coast.
Al Fuller's been a little bit busy here to start. And now a 3rd and 12, and a deep shot down the middle. A lot of contact. The ball incomplete. The coverage tight on Skutnik. The Iroquois sideline wants a flag, and there is a flag, but it is in the backfield against the Red Hawks.
So I'd be a little surprised with that. It was a beautifully placed ball, and I thought there might have been a flag on the defender downfield because he never looked back for the ball. But it was obviously a hold in the offensive line.
And they're going to decline the penalty and take a 4th and 12 situation.
Get off the field, coach. Get off the field. Holding on the offense is declined. 4th down.
Robert Pizzaka letting the officiating crew hear it too, that there was no flag on this contact here in the end zone. Bryden Baker there in coverage.
Yeah, it was a great throw. I mean, if you're going to take a penalty, which they didn't have to take, that's the one you want to take to keep you from going into the end zone and falling even further behind.
I'm not letting you get off the hook, though. We're going to revisit that after this 4th and 12. Another whistle to stop play. Timeout taken by Iroquois. Should it have been a flag?
Yes, it should have been a flag. It was clearly a flag. It was clearly a flag because when you take a look at the fact that he hustled, did a great job, batted down the hands, but the mere fact that he didn't turn his head back to the quarterback would have constituted a flag, at least in my book. But what do I know?
Yeah, it's two guys, though, that are competing, right? They're leaving it all out on the field.
Exactly.
We saw that. Both teams, you questioned maybe physicality week 1 for Iroquois. Both teams look sharp here through the opening quarter and change.
And if that's what you got to do to keep him out of the end zone, again, he closed on it, hit the arms a bit early, and had he looked back, that was, in my book, that's a little bit more contact than we needed. Yep.
Yeah, if you're an offensive coach, you're all over that one, saying flag, flag, flag. Defensive coach, hey, let them play the game. It's two of the best players in this game going to make a play.
Exactly.
4th down and 12. You would think field position here that Pizzanka's still going to go for it with his quarterback in this Iroquois offense.
You could see a pooch kick or something like that here, too, to bury him, but I think this is where they would end up with the ball anyway in any type of kickoff or kick return.
Must get to the 20-yard line for a 1st down.
And how aren't you going to allow the number 1 quarterback in the state 4th down? I mean, that should have been a touchdown there.
If you're
beautifully
the defense,
thrown ball.
You're obviously watching where number 23 lines up here. Bottom of your screen, double move going his way. Skutnik got behind the defense, but the pass overthrown incomplete, and the Depew defense comes up with a stop.
That's the first time you've seen him throw the ball today where it wasn't exactly on point.
They certainly had the attention, and Skutnik had their attention with double coverage there, but he still got free. The pass was just overthrown.
Yeah, he's a pretty impressive. You can start to see him flow that free safety over the top, and he still got over the top.
Fans, stay tuned for the UB Bulls halftime show. UB Bulls football, family, affordable, fun, will showcase our Aesthetic Associates Center Scholar athletes, presented by Dr. Todd Shatkin, participating schools from across the area, Thursday night lights, Friday night rivals highlights from across the country, first half highlights, and more. Coming up at the half, changing directions in the backfield. That's a swarming, suffocating defense. There's nowhere to go for Bryden Baker, and you could pick a handful of Red Hawks there, a flock of Red Hawks to bring them down.
Well, they're getting off the blocks on a much bigger offensive line. They're getting really good penetration, and then they're redirecting. This is a very well-coached defensive front.
Richard Donahue, accustomed to making plays in the backfield, had 12.5 tackles for loss last year. Led the team with 8 tackles in week number 1 for Iroquois, as this defense looks to get it back with good field position. Depew scoring on its only offensive possession of the game so far. Just the second time offensively they've been on the field. Pressure from Donahue, and the throw towards the sideline, nearly intercepted by Skutnik. Who else?
For really nice 2 last plays by Richard Donahue. He's going 6'1", 218 pounds, and he's going against Burgoyne. And I'll tell you what, they are putting McGloin in on the bigger defensive tackle, but they can't let that guy sit outside unblocked like they did the last 2 plays.
And that's the matchup we'll watch. And now Donahue's going to switch sides with TJ Domino here. You see he's not lined up opposite McGloin as they look to get some pressure on Schrader on this 3rd and long. Now it's Schrader and Depew backed up. Vance in motion, look to his left, steps up and fires a strike on the run and complete out to the 46-yard line to Tony Velasquez, and it's a first down brought to you by Express Windows.
You were right. They brought the pressure. They collapsed the pocket. The quarterback steps up into the pocket, was patient, steps up, finds his guy, critical strike, great first down.
That is a terrific throw on the run. Big target, too. Velasquez listed at 5'11". Tell you, he looks a little bit bigger than that as he went out and snatches the football. 3rd down conversions, the name of the game so far for both of these offenses. Bryden Baker wrestled down by Donahue. Donahue having himself here a first half.
He really is, and you didn't see much of him in the very first quarter, but you can see he's starting to heat it up. They're flipping him both sides, and he's bringing pressure, and he's productive on both sides of the ball. Look at this. He comes off the block against the guy we're talking about, McGloin, the Division I kid that everybody's touting, and this young man gets great extension, comes off, and that's just a great job. Great play all around.
As an offensive lineman yourself, like that's setting the line of scrimmage there. It's Donahue who's dictating the line of scrimmage.
Well, because if you're going to beat a guy like that, you've got to move your feet. Right now, you see Depew getting their hands on the guys, but the smaller, 218 pounds and small, but he's much quicker.
Time for Schrader, and the pass on the money, spinning down inside the 30-yard line. Another 2nd and long that's turned into a first down on the big play downfield to Dorian Naylor. He high points the football at 6'2".
Yeah, another big senior target for them. He's slight at only 145 pounds, but he's got that length and that range, and he used every bit of it in that last play.
This game has been dictated by big plays through the passing game, despite both offenses struggling to stay on schedule.
And that's what we talked about in the beginning of the game, was staying on schedule. But right now, Depew's taking it downfield. Really impressive drive so far.
Throw it out the window, the way this game started. Schrader's look terrific. Throw is complete again. And down inside the 20-yard line goes Luis Ayala. And he's into the red zone, our Willoughby Insurance red zone. Willoughby will when nobody will, and it is enough for a first down brought to you by Express Windows.
I mean, you've got Kleitz playing really, really well, but Schrader is stepping up, isn't he? Tremendous first half for this guy.
I know both offenses aren't on the field at the same time, but it probably means something for Schrader, just the junior coming to a game like this, knowing what everyone's talking about, the guy on the other side.
Yeah, I really like the way he's managing the tempo of the offense so far.
Nowhere for Bryden Baker. He stood up. Domino eventually rips the football out, but just nowhere to go along that defensive line. Schiffauer was the one down at his ankles, and then Domino trying to create the turnover with him stood up there.
Alex is doing a nice job, Schiffauer. He's not only doing a good job on the defense side of the ball, but he's their starting center. And he's been getting the ball back quick, allowing all that timing that we've been seeing for his quarterback and running backs. Doing a nice job across the board.
Tonight's closed captioning is exclusively brought to you by Buffalo Fresh Roof. Second down and 9, dancing Rajon Vance. A lot of zigzagging. He does jitterbug his way down to the 13-yard line. There was not a lot of room. He just got a crease and picks up 5.
They're doing a good job with the two-back sets. That was 21 personnel, fullback, running back, and a tight end. And they're going to play some power football down here, which they're probably going to be setting up some type of a play-action pass down here.
3rd and 5, as we just talked about, probably 4-down territory, although Schrader's a pretty darn good kicker for Depew. He does give them an option of settling for 3. Fakes it to Bryden Baker, fires a dart over the middle and complete again. See the defense saying, no, Schriffauer. But that ball caught. And Ben Corden, the tight end, does make the grab. Let's check a look at it. Well, the defense had an argument there.
But it was a great 1-2 setup. They ran the ball in that first one. Play action pass, hit the seam route to the tight end. Great play call.
So Depew catches a break, though. It was a good route by Corden, the tight end, but Schriffauer had a right to be upset.
Keep, nice job. Why not? He throws the ball downfield, gives it to everybody else. Give the quarterback some, man. Give the quarterback some. Good work. Great drive.
Cole Schrader show on that drive, a touchdown for Depew to take a 13-6 lead. Now he's also going to be asked to kick the point after that touchdown, a Kaleida Health touchdown, the official healthcare provider of the Buffalo Bills. Really impressive stuff from this guy right here who's about to tack on another point.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with the way Depew's playing.
Maybe not. His kick is blocked, and it stays a 7-point game. Impressed, except for the blocking on that PAT. So 13-6. Great start for Cole Schrader here on the road. Still a 7-point game. Schrader takes it in. Second quarter action continues after this. Stay tuned for the UB Bulls halftime show. UB Bulls football, family, affordable fun. We'll showcase our Aesthetic Associates Center Scholar Athletes presented by Dr. Todd Shatkin. Thursday Night Lights and Friday Night Rivals highlights from across the country. First half highlights from here. And, of course, more coming up at the half. And a great first half to document coming up. A 13-6 Depew lead. Cole Schrader with the quarterback sneak from 2 yards out. And Depew opens up now a 7-point advantage. And an onside kick attempted here that skips to the sideline and out of bounds. And it'll be great field position for Iroquois as the pendulum swings back their way. And the penalty flags are that the kick did not go 10 yards. And back-to-back special teams miscues by Depew after going down the field. Terrific drive led by the quarterback. And let's first hear from our official out
5 yards forward.
And I would say that
Right,
would
you go
probably
5
be
yards
the first time
Kicked
I
out of
would say
bounds.
that the coach
5 yards from the spot. First down.
trying to get too fancy.
Here first is the blocked PAT.
Pressure comes from the outside. Guess who? Number 23 is doing it all for this Iroquois team. I mean, you know, Skutnik is as good as they come in Western New York right now as far as being an all-around athlete.
Excellent field position after the penalty. But yeah, it's two costly special teams miscues here after Depew had a stranglehold of the football game. There is Skutnik, and Skutnik run after catch. He's stripped of the football. It is out, and a battle for the ball on the turf, and it looks like Donahue of Iroquois helps Skutnik recover what was a near costly fumble.
And you're seeing that the offense is RPO. You see what they're trying to do now with Skutnik. Their adjustment is to go to quarters, deeper, and what does he do? He just adjusts, comes back under in a funnel screen, gets the ball. Nice job by Depew pursuing the ball, but hey, made it up, got the ball back.
That was 22. Cremeno again, who's having an awesome start here defensively.
He's got a motor, doesn't he?
He plays fast, he plays furious, he's been all over the field. Offensive numbers flashing in at the bottom of your screen as Domino flashes behind the second level, makes the catch, but there's a flag down in the backfield we'll have to check on. If it stands, it's good for a 12-yard pickup, and the initial signal here is against the defense, so it should be a first down for Iroquois, brought to you by Express Windows.
Well, Depew has changed their secondary coverage. They've gone into a cover 4, and they're willing to let everything catch underneath right now.
Personal foul, hands to the face on the defense. Added on to the end of the play. First down.
Well, that's a big help.
Costly penalty, and Iroquois in business here with a chance to go in and either tie or take the lead. Games can change in the blink of an eye. That happened to Depew last week. They were up big and then had a special teams miscue, a fumble, and all of a sudden it was a tight game with Dunkirk. They did prevail in week 1. Iroquois for the Redhawks, unfortunately in familiar territory, played from behind all of week number 1.
Skutnik's back up at the top of the screen to the right. He's been to the left the last 3 plays. You're going to see him go to him in the back of the end zone.
See if that plays true here as Domino comes in motion. And this time, Skutnik just decoys the handoff up the middle, into the end zone, barreling in, Trey Pfeiffer.
Great job, great answer to that adjustment to the coverage. They were putting Skutnik on one-on-one earlier in the game, and that was burying him. But they adjusted to different coverage. Great adjustment. Power comes across, reads his block. They're running the ball very well on the second level right now.
Pfeiffer, just a sophomore, 5'10", 160, a powerful run, and now Skutnik with a critical point after to tie the football game. Snap a little bit high, but handled, and the kick good for Skutnik, and it is 13-13. Nice job by Pfeiffer to get the snap down there for Iroquois after his touchdown run. We're tied here on the law office of William Mattar's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Stellar Roofing. 13-all. During the fourth quarter of tonight's game, we'll be highlighting the school bus stop of the game. The law in every state requires drivers to always stop for a school bus when the stop arm is out and the red lights are flashing. Not many stops so far. A good start for both these offenses. 13-13 game, 3:21 to go here in the second quarter.
Well, the communication between Pizzonka and his quarterback really were the difference in that drive. They saw immediately the adjustment of the secondary. Good little kickoff here. They're going deep this time.
Donahue's kick handled at the 25-yard line. Luis Ayala reverses directions and trying to get out of trouble, but nowhere to go. And that's something that Pizzonka told me, too. He said, my quarterback, Kleitz, he is a second coach on the field. He's smart. He's seen it all. They watch film together, and they both anticipate what the other is actually thinking.
Well, but they took exactly what they gave them. They backed up so they wouldn't get beat deep. They had that great funnel screen. Then they had the little drag route by the tight end. And then they were able to run the ball up the middle because the linebackers were so spread out. Really nice execution on that last series.
Well, we started this game talking about Justice Kleitz at quarterback for Iroquois, obviously, right? But Cole Schrader's been his equal here tonight, the junior quarterback for Depew. Really, they've had most of their success through the air. Breidenbaker stacked up for no gain. What's impressed you about number 4 here in this opening half?
I think he's a scrapper. He's a really, you can just tell he's a good all-around athlete. And as a junior, he's highly competitive, and he knows his offense.
Let's take it one step further. Did not start playing football until 7th grade, just fell in love with the sport, and he has immersed himself in the sport. His head coach, Joe Pagano, said he just has a knack and a love for football, and it comes really naturally to him.
Well, you can tell they're settling into ball control, He's got some play action pass out of this system, but they're in that 20 personnel, and they're happy with it.
Bryden Baker looking for a block from McGloin, escapes one tackle. Donahue dragging him. Whole host of characters come in there, and he's able to fight for extra yardage. He'll turn it into about a 3rd and 6 with a 3-yard pickup.
Boy, you see number 68 getting off the bottom of that pile. Richard Donahue is almost in on every single play. If he's not the primary hitter, he's the secondary guy that's finishing the play. He's surprising me. He's not somebody that I was thinking was going to be this big of a talent in this game so far.
Well, he did lead his team in week 1, but Robert Pizzanca said the guy to watch is TJ Domino, the guy on the other end. But what's made Donahue so impressive?
Well, number one, he's great with his hands. He feels the block, he gets off the block, and that's rare for a D end at the high school level.
Timeout here by Iroquois before this critical 3rd down and 5, second timeout of the opening half for the Red Hawks with 97 seconds to play here in this second quarter. Get a stop, you get the ball back, and despite trailing here in the second quarter, you could have a chance to go into halftime with the lead.
Yeah, this is such a balanced football game. Both coaches, a couple things we've seen, like the onside kick, probably wanted to go a little deeper than that. They might still have the lead. But, again, everything has been clean. The penalties that you are seeing are incidental. You're not seeing maybe a little hands in the face here or there, but both teams have been able to overcome their penalties. And that's something that really tells you that while you might make some mental mistakes, they're well trained and well disciplined to make up for those rare mistakes.
And I love that both teams are just going for it, right? The deep ball, the onside kick. Yeah, it might not always work out, but in a big game, you're not playing conservative. You're playing here to come in and win the football game.
And Pizzanca always plays to win. He's a very aggressive coach. And obviously, Coach Pag's on the other side. I'm going to start calling him that now. For a guy that is living his dream, his team is prepared for Iroquois tonight.
Remind them it's a Thursday night. It's a school night. Don't go too crazy here.
Yeah, well, it is Iroquois, and out here they have a tendency to have a little bit of fun out in the sticks.
3rd and 5 coming up here for Depew. Schrader looking to extend the drive, and it is in his hands. Pressure from Donahue. Who else? Throw over the middle. His first mistake of the night. Intercepted. Throwing into a ton of traffic. Logan Nolan slides to make the catch.
Well, right there, while he's playing a great game, you've got other people too, and you might be asking him to do a bit too much. But again, one mistake is somebody else's opportunity.
Trash into treasure, right, for Iroquois, and they'll have excellent field position here. Just nowhere to go with the football, and the pressure from Donahue created this disruption.
Well, throwing back across the body is not necessarily back across the body, but looking back and throwing it sidearm. There's only a couple guys at Buffalo that could do that, and one of them is, named Josh Allen. But hey, he's a competitor. He tried to make something happen.
Different tax bracket than
just a little
16-year-old out here. Brian Tripp, Scott Pilkey, Tyler Millen, the third member of our outstanding crew, with us here tonight through the hands of Weiser, as you saw the quick release from Kleitz that time. There is the man with the interception. Now great field position because of that takeaway from the Iroquois defense.
That could be what we talked about just a little bit at the stop of the week. That was a great play, pivotal play, puts them right back in with only a minute 25 left to go. Really, you're talking about field position being the biggest difference of why Iroquois has a chance to potentially go in with the lead, or they'd probably still be down 13-6.
As you can see from the yellow dashes on your screen, just one timeout though here for Robert Pizzanca, the ninth-year head coach, and his offense that faces a 2nd and 10 after a first down incompletion. Kleitz, hard count, and Roman Boyer jumped.
Encroaching on the defense. 3 plays different.
Those are little things about his game that you like. He knows when to put in the hard count. He knows when to pull the ball out and throw it on the edge. Pretty complete quarterback.
Why, maybe, have we not called 11's name a ton here tonight? Look who he's lining up against.
Exactly. That's what we were pretty amazing. Kids playing great on both sides of the ball.
So is Skutnik down the sideline, walks the tightrope, takes it in, touchdown, Iroquois! 40 yards, and the Red Hawks are back in front.
That's a great setup on this play. They've been working on this the last couple of times with the funnel screen, getting the ball out to him quick and letting him do the rest with the yak, the yard after catch. Looks right out, catches him out in the flat. Again, it's that funnel screen. Everybody gets out to the outside, and then he just runs down the sideline. And bottom line, he's just a better athlete in that position than everybody else that was chasing after him.
Credit the blockers, too. Domino and Donahue. Who else getting out and throwing the critical blocks? Trouble for all special teams units here so far. Belsky, 99, got his hands on the kick from Skutnik, and a 19-13 lead because of this terrific run, staying inbounds down the sideline.
See everybody completing their blocks. He's strong enough to pull away from the tackle, and he did not step out. What a great play that was. Great body awareness. That's the key to a tremendous athlete.
And that is a Kaleida Health touchdown, the official healthcare provider of the Buffalo Bills. Yeah, a tremendous athlete. He is quite a talent. 10 catches, a couple of touchdowns in week number 1, already a couple of touchdowns for Iroquois here in week 2, and he's going to have gaudy numbers. That combo. Look, Kleitz lost some targets from last year. We've talked about him, Sam Donovan, you can go through that list. This is a guy that really is the workhorse of this offense.
And they're doing a good job by moving him around and putting him in positions to take what they give you. You know, in the first quarter, they were trying to get the ball down to him, downfield, hit it quick. Now they're saying, hey, let's just get anytime you get the ball to him, he's going to get positive yards. I didn't know our guy Donahue was also the kicker.
He's having a great night. Not his best effort there on the kick. Velasquez returns it to 42, but there is a flag along the sideline. This is a big penalty. Depew has 3 timeouts, plenty of time to work with, but who's it going against here? Al Fuller will fill us in, and you at home.
Al's been busy in this first half.
Yeah. And I don't think this is one of these cases where you're on TV, you just want FaceTime.
Personal foul on the red, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Critical penalty against Iroquois. Now Depew's in business with all 3 timeouts in 71 seconds.
Again, what's key in this first half is the field position that we're seeing here. You know, look at Skutnik just in the first half, 4 receptions, 114 yards, 2 touchdowns, great over. That's usually a game for everybody else.
Not for him. Last week, 10 catches, 87 yards. Grand Island just took the big play away from Skutnik, made him work for every single yard. 6-point lead for Iroquois. Depew gets the ball to start the second half, but looking for more here in this opening half. Tyler Freiling barreling down to the 32-yard line. First down on a 13-yard pickup. That first down brought to you by Express Windows. Now installing windows as low as $329 within 5 to 6 weeks.
That's a really nice change up there. If you want to slow the linebackers and the blitz down, nice developing screen. Great job releasing by that left side, getting up to the second level.
An easy completion for Schrader, too, after the interception on his last drive. Delivered a fastball to Ayala off his fingertips, and it lands incomplete.
See, they're trying to move him around now because the pressure was getting him into the pocket. They change it up with the screen to the right, to the left, roll to the right, and you're going to probably see a middle screen here or some type of play action pass as they get here.
Because right now, that offense and Joe Pagano, he's saying, okay, I can't let 68 keep beating me with what he's doing on the defensive side.
And move around, exactly.
Meanwhile, Travis Pitsanka, Robert's brother, dialing up the defense for Iroquois. Now leading by 6 in a back-and-forth opening half with 44 seconds to play. Here in the second quarter on 2nd and 10. Schrader going deep downfield, and it is off the hands of 2 players on the play. First, nearly intercepted by Pasucci, and then it was nearly caught on the ricochet by Ray John Vance.
We talk about ricochet. We've had 3 ricochets today. One that resulted in an interception into another one. This could have been a big play. Should have been an interception. Bounced off. Any more awareness, It could have been a touchdown.
Right through the breadbasket.
We've had some interesting ricochets, as you say, throughout this first half.
Still all
Makes
3
for a fun
timeouts.
game.
Yeah, this has been fantastic. We need more like this if we're going to do games together all year. Still 3 timeouts for Depew. 3rd down and 10 with 36 seconds to go here in the half. Well, the last time you and I worked at Iroquois game together, Adam Nunez from South Park ran for 593 yards, state record.
That's right.
Here is Schrader, who delivers back across to Freiling. Room to run. Freiling near a first down. Depends on the spot. They're going to mark him at the 24. He'll be a yard shy. Timeout Depew with 21 seconds to go here in the quarter. And now a 4th and 1 upcoming. Great creativity and escapability by the quarterback. And Schrader just making plays.
Yeah, he's doing a great job. He's only a junior right now. You can tell he's got a good future. That O-line is starting to, form up a bit. You start to see they're getting used to the speed of the game in front of them. But he's making a lot of things happen with his feet.
This is becoming a great duel here between Schrader and Justice Kleitz. And I asked Joe Pagano, well, how did you simulate Kleitz during the week? Everyone knows about him in Western New York. He said, well, the guy he had on scout team was Schrader. He wanted to play Kleitz, and they're imitating each other out here on the field.
Well, mimic is the greatest form of flattery, right? But maybe mimicking him is carrying over into his play tonight, because arguably he's been as productive of a quarterback for his team as Kleitz has been for his.
This has been a terrific game, terrific battle, both offenses moving down the field. 4th and 2. Plenty of time left here with those 2 timeouts for Depew. Just outside of Schrader's field goal range. Rolls right and play blown dead. Timeout Iroquois.
Timeout Iroquois.
Shows you the stakes of this play. And there again was Scott trying to get Schrader on the move to avoid that pressure.
And I think they're doing a great job. I mean, that's it's slowing down the defensive front, because they were just keying on him, especially our guy number 68 there, Donahue. But they're bouncing him around. He's been a tremendous asset on both sides of the ball, kicking the ball, being downfield on some of these screens. And a lot of these O-linemen and D-line don't get the credit that they deserve for allowing these tremendous athletes to do what they do, giving them the space to do what they do. Both teams have played a really, really solid first half.
Well, they might have showed their hand there a little bit. So what's Pagano saying now to Schrader over there on the sideline?
I think you're going to see maybe the same role with that back. Maybe well, right now if it's 4th and 1, just get the first down. Time it out, get the first down.
So we'll see what they dial up here.
You got the bigger O-line. You had a QB run down here that scored a touchdown. I wouldn't be surprised if they did the same thing, but it doesn't look like they're doing that.
Maybe Mason McGloin will throw that key block. 77 there, right side of the line. He works on Domino. Pressure comes from Donahue. Shot for the end zone. Jump ball, and it's batted away by Pasucci.
Great defensive play, and that's the way you look back at it. He ran with him, felt him, and saw that ball coming in. Great defensive play, good body awareness. Went to the highest point, which is the way you teach it. Great job by that defender there.
And that is a clinical play by Stefano Pasucci. That's one you'll show in your coaching tapes.
Yeah, and his hand placement was great. He was going for the football. It was a little underthrown. So, yeah, perfect defensive play.
Well, does Iroquois out of timeouts, backed way up? Do they take a shot here with their quarterback and Skutnik?
I think without question you got to take a shot because you've got 2 plays with him.
Well, time to talk it over first. Depew's going to take its second timeout. They're probably thinking the same thing. Let's catch our breath here before we have to chase down number 23 one more time.
Yeah, what you're going to see again is going to be that release by the left guard and left tackle, and they're going to throw the same funnel screen. Why not throw it for the 3rd time? Because it's been pay dirt twice for you.
Kleitz 8 for 14, 156 yards, a couple of touchdowns and an interception here in the half. Skutnik 4 catches, 114 yards and a couple of touchdowns here in this opening half for the Iroquois offense. And they have bounced back after falling behind. This is setting up for a great second half. Depew gets the football, remember.
when everybody's in shape, everybody's enjoying the night. It's a cool, crisp night here in early September. You know, of all the things that are going on in the world today, seeing young people like this play, have fun, have passion, this is the best part of why we do what we do.
One or two more plays for Kleitz to add to those impressive first half numbers here. And instead, he'll just take a knee and take it into the locker room with Iroquois leading 19-13 here at the end of the opening half. Great bounce back, great second quarter by the Redhawks here at home.
Yeah, I'll tell you, out of all the players, though, the guy that I think has had the most influence, while we're talking about quarterbacks and wide receivers and talented skill guys, it is Richard Donahue. Was without question for me. We saw a kid last week at West Seneca East, DeMartin, who is a really great defensive end. We're seeing another Richard Donahue this week that is just doing a great job.
Well, Tyler Millen probably going to ask about Richard Donahue here as we go down to the field and check in with Coach Pizzanka.
Joined on the field with Coach Pizzanka. Physicality up front was a point of emphasis for you coming into this week. How impressed are you with this defense in this first half?
We responded from last week. We didn't have that last week. And so far, seeing guys rally to the ball is pleasing to me. We just got to do it for 4 quarters now.
Depew has been able to execute on a number of third downs. How do you address that in the half?
That's something that we were talking as a staff during the game. We got 2 young safeties up there, and, they ended up settling in, getting a big pick to help us get the lead going into half. So just going to be staying consistent, discipline up there.
Skudnick with a massive first half. How do you keep him engaged in the second half?
We're just going to keep finding new places to get him open and hide him around, and obviously having the guy at quarterback that we do always helps too. So,
thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Great stuff. Yeah, that physicality was a point of emphasis coming in, as Tyler mentioned there. You have to love it. Number 68, Donahue, setting the tone, as is Skutnik. What a first half, back and forth. Iroquois in front, 19-13. Depew will get the football to start the second half, but first, our UB Bulls halftime show coming your way next here on the law office of William Mattar's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Stellar Roofing. I'm here from Iroquois, the home Redhawks in front 19-13. Let's check out tonight's Aesthetic Associates Scholar Athletes.
Dr. Todd Shapkin from the Aesthetic Associates Center is proud to present Thursday Night Lights Aesthetic Associates Scholar Athlete of the Week. With a 97.56 GPA, Mason McClellan is the Scholar Athlete for Depew High School. Mason's athletic achievements include being named the captain of the football team and a team MVP in basketball. Mason is also a member of the National Honor Society, and his community involvement includes being a coach for the Depew Summer Basketball Camp. This All-Star is now entered for a $5,000 scholarship at the end of the season. Congratulations to the Aesthetic Associates Scholar Athlete of the Week. Dr. Todd Shapkin from the Aesthetic Associates Center is proud to present Thursday Night Lights Aesthetic Associates Scholar Athlete of the Week. With a 99.3 GPA, TJ Domino is the Scholar Athlete for Iroquois High School. TJ's athletic achievements include being named the captain of the football team and a Defensive Player of the Year in basketball. TJ is also a member of the National Honor Society, and his community involvement includes being a volunteer at Dream League Baseball. This All-Star is now entered for a $5,000 scholarship at the end of the season. Congratulations to the Aesthetic Associates Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Academics not pesky for those two buggers, huh? Our Scholar Athletes this week. 19-13, Iroquois leads it here at the half. More coming up in just a moment. Depew gets the football to start the second half, down 6, 19-13. Great first half. You're watching the UB Bulls halftime show, UB Bulls football, family, affordable, fun. Great game here so far. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from across the country from Thursday Night Lights and Friday Night Rivals action.
The best Thursday Night Lights and Friday Night Rivals highlights from across the country.
Jackson's got to get something here. He got hit. The ball's on the ground. And you don't have any timeouts. They don't have any timeouts.
For the end zone. Caught! Flag! 17.9 to go. And
mistakes, but once they clear those up, West Seneca East is going to be a very good football team this year.
Extra point attempt and trying to get into the end zone for a 2-point attempt instead. After it was blocked, it was DJ Baker was the holder.
Forcing them to pass the ball. Deep down the field to Harden. Caught! Wow! Oh my goodness, did he actually come down with that?
Got him with the checkeration. Strike up. The Silver Fox fights on. What a play call. This could be a penalty in the end zone, but that's an SCDC touchdown for the Silver Foxes.
Take us to the end here. Connor Kolka needing to convert for 2. And it is loose.
Was it a catch and a fumble? State College is on the football. Yes! State College scores on the 2-point conversion. Hank Lustig scooped it up.
Probably some highlights coming here, second half. 19-13 Iroquois here at the half. Iroquois leads at 19-13 here at the half. Great opening half, back and forth. Each team led there in the opening half. We're going to take a look back at those first half highlights, and it was Iroquois getting off to a much, much better start this week. Kleitz to Skutnik, the start of a big night, 15 yards in the game's first touchdown.
Yeah, you know, these guys have connected for the last couple of years, done some big things, but now you're seeing Depew. Depew runs that ball up inside, tremendous play. You see the power come around. Number 5 takes out 2 guys, and that's a foot race, and this one ends up in the end zone.
One that Bryden Baker's always going to win, 37 yards out. Then his quarterback, Schrader, goes up the middle, and he scores. It's a 13-6 lead for Depew at that point, but then the ground game and pass game in Iroquois ends up ahead at the half.
Actually, pretty similar schemes in the first half, you know, trying to get the ball into their best players. Now you see it out here on the edge. That funnel screen worked 3 times for them in the first half. And then this is just the best athlete on the field right now.
Nick Skutnik, big first half numbers. The same for his quarterback, Justice Kleitz. Big first half numbers all the way around. Iroquois outgains Depew. Both teams doing it through the air. You can see some penalties, turnovers, a little to clean up. Coaches love talking points at halftime to coach their teams up. Speaking of coaches, Joe Pagano down on the field with Tyler Millen to talk about Depew's first half adjustments.
Down on the field with Coach Pagano, what are you hoping to see with possession on your first series?
Hey, control the clock a little, get some first downs, not be in such a hurry where you got to score every play. Like, let's take what they give us, be patient. They're really good. They play great defense, so we got to be patient.
How do you slow down Skutnik after his massive first half?
Like I've said before, man, you try and contain him a little bit. He's great. Him and Clyde have been playing together probably since they were 4 years old for crying out loud. So it is what it is. We're going to play aggressive and just do what we do. That's who we are, and see what happens.
Roman Boyer had a big first week, but he's been kind of silenced by this Iroquois offensive line throughout the course of today. How do you re-engage him defensively?
He'll get going. Don't worry about Roman. You know what? He's got a goal, then he's got a motor on him. So second half's a different half. They've done a great job on him. They're good. I mean, they're one of the best programs in West York. That's why we're here, man.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate your time.
All right. Thank you.
No doubt about that. 6 straight winning seasons for Iroquois. They are good. Both teams are good. We've had a good game. 19-13. Depew gets the ball to start the second half. When we come back here on the law office of William Mattar's Thursday Night Lights presented by Stellar Roofing. Iroquois came in 0-1, Depew 1-0, but this is B2. You got a divisional game here, week number 2, big stakes. Both of these teams think they have a shot at making a deep run in the playoffs. You can see why after that first half, Depew gets the ball to start the third quarter.
Yeah, this is going to be a heavyweight fight in this conference here, and this is going to come down to the last minute or two.
Iroquois 7-3 last year, Depew 4-5, but two really good programs. Donahue, a star of the opening half for Iroquois. He's done everything tonight, including handling the kicks. And a return by Vance to start the third quarter. Great special teams coverage by Iroquois. Don't forget about this phase of the game that could play a factor in deciding the game, because we saw special teams create an impact on the opening 24 minutes.
Well, what it's done just to start the second half is look at the field position, right? You don't see the little squib kicks anymore. They're going to they got the lead. They want Depew to go the full 80 yards, 70, 80 yards. And make them work for it. So you can already see where their adjustments are. They're not going to give up the short field anymore, because that's one of the big reasons why Depew is in this game as tight as it is right now.
Evan Falter, the senior Mike linebacker, leading the charge for that defense. Really, that defensive line has handled the line of scrimmage, though, for Iroquois. First time tonight under center out of the I formation, giving the ball to Zach Breidenbaker, looking to get him more involved again after a great first quarter. He picks up 6.
Yep, great way to start it. Ball control off to that left-hand side. One of their big guys is down. Looks like he's going to try to walk it off, and he's fine. That's good news.
And Tristan Richards does get to his feet. Athletic trainer did come out, but I think they're going to let him stay in the game.
Just a little slow getting up.
As Schrader will bring the play call in from the sideline. Richard, Sharp, Golba, Parks, and McGloin. That is an exceptional front there for Depew.
Yeah, and, again, you look at Sharp. He's only a junior. So, you see how they're communicating to each other. And you're starting to see Iroquois roll in some different bodies up front.
Out of the eye again. Breidenbaker again. Extra surge gets him near the line to gain, and it does appear, based on the spot, that he has a first down, brought to you by Interstate Batteries.
Well, you see Pagano's plan is going to be running this football, play action passing the football, and getting the ball out on the edges.
Well, he just told Tyler Millen that we need to settle back in and slow down. I formation, run the ball, get it to Breidenbaker. That's exactly what he's talking about.
Exactly, and so this is a great opening drive. 3 plays, first down. Put it on your O-line, because you put it on your quarterback in the first half. Now your big O-line's got to start producing.
And Schrader delivered for Depew in that opening half. Use the fullback Tyler Freiling, and again on schedule here, 6 yards on first down, something they rarely were in the opening half.
And a little change-up. You're going from the deep back to the up back, who's been a great blocker so far. So it's just a change to keep the timing of the defensive line, who's been dominant, a little bit off kilter right now.
And this is that game of cat and mouse. Hey, we didn't show you this at all in the first half. Here's a wrinkle. How do you handle it in the second half?
Exactly, and that's the adjustment that we're seeing. They've been staying in the two-back offense so far.
Little ISO. Trying to follow Freiling's block, but no push at the line that time for that big offensive front.
And that's the first time that you've seen the running back. A late flag comes in.
Richards, bottom of the pile. Helmet came off on the play for Ty Urmson, the senior 3-tech.
For a play.
So we'll hear Al Fuller
a
for the first time
foul
here.
On the defense. He did it.
Urmson will have to come off for a play because he lost his helmet. Not sure if we'll be able to pick up who the penalty's on, but you have the personal foul. And you know what? They're going to change the call. It's actually against Depew.
Yeah, they're saying, well, how did that guy do hands to the face? Was it to his own face? Did he knock his own helmet off?
And because the opponent ripped the helmet off, he should be able to stay in the football game.
Exactly.
Penalties really didn't slow either team down in the first half, but there were numerous penalties that if that trend continues, you got to look out a little bit.
Yeah, again, you don't want to turn the ball over down here.
That's a pretty easy
Yeah,
call.
that's an easy one. And the young man holds it up.
I think he baited him into that one a
Might
little
want
bit.
to throw that one out just a little bit.
It is 3rd down and 19, and a quick pass incomplete in the direction of Bryden Baker. And they'll be forced to kick it away. A costly penalty put them in an unmanageable 3rd down situation. Nice job by that Iroquois defense led by Travis Pizzanka. Your screen says 3rd and 19. That was just 3rd down because the penalty was an extracurricular penalty against the offense.
See, that's why they got this guy up here. I still thought it was 3rd down and 19. That's why they keep me on the sidelines, you know.
No, it's why they keep you off the sidelines, coach.
Pay you the big bucks.
Brian Tripp, Scott Filkey, our entire Thursday Night Lights crew. Great to be with you here tonight. Tyler Millen manning the sidelines for us. And that's a great stop for Iroquois to start the half. They have all the momentum going into the locker room. And a chance here for a return for Skutnik. And he scurries free. Look at Skutnik across midfield. And another late flag comes in. So we'll check on that. But it could be great starting field position for Iroquois. I think this may be extracurriculars here against the Redhawks, though.
Well, that's one thing you see the refs really doing these days is trying to mitigate any extra, anything that could lead to something else. They're doing a great job monitoring
Personal foul,
this game.
defenseless player.
Wipes out great field position, but as you said, Scott, they're maintaining control of the football game, this officiating crew.
Well, again, you don't want any late hits. You don't want anybody getting hurt. The game's physical enough. Why allow it to get out of hand? So I'm not a big fan of the flags. I like to, have the guys play, but that right there, when I was growing up, that was a clean hit. But that young man can't protect himself, so it's a good call.
Yeah, Cole Feddison, and he did get back to his feet and was okay after the hit. So that's always encouraging to see. And now Iroquois, a chance to open up its first and any team's first two-score lead of the night with the football. Kleitz coming off a tremendous opening half, 8 for 14, a couple of touchdown passes, 156 yards. And obviously Skutnik on the receiving end of both those touchdown throws. It is not Skutnik, but Nick Ciancio. And Ciancio, with all the attention going to 23 and 25, said, don't forget about me, 9-yard pickup on the pitch and catch.
Well, that's a great adjustment going into the second half because you saw the entire defensive secondary roll over to Skutnik, and now this opens the door for some other young athletes that are going to be the future Skutniks.
Could mean something for the running game, and Trey Pfeiffer, who had a first-half touchdown as well.
See a change in the up-tempo here, going no huddle.
Can easily do that with a second coach like Kleitz on the field. He takes it himself. A good block by Pfeiffer in the backfield, and he rumbles all the way down to the 38-yard line. 18-yard pickup and a first down brought to you by Interstate Batteries.
You got to give Coach Pizzanka and his staff credit in the second half because they come out here and take away the adjustments. When you're going out to play that cover 4 or that 2 deep, you're going to give up the middle. And they've been able to take that opportunity to put every hat on hat and let the quarterback do something with his legs rather than his arm for the very first time of the night.
Kleitz doesn't run a ton, but is effective enough when called upon just to keep the defense off balance. Here's Skutnik, first time here in this half. And there he goes again, Nick Skutnik. There's a flag back at the 30. He's into the end zone, touchdown if it stands.
Funnel screen again has been their number one play to him.
Looks like this is coming back for a hold on the outside. Regardless, Depew's going to have to find a way to defend that play.
Well, right now they're out of balance because they're throwing the ball away from Skutnik, they're throwing the ball to their other people, and they're running the ball
Holding
at
on
the
the
middle.
offense. Repeat first down.
Here, some frustration there from Iroquois, and it's going to get TJ Domino, number 25. He's frustrated, and it's right here, left side of your screen.
Well, when the hands get outside and the pancake block is an exaggerated play, we don't have to wrestle guys to the ground anymore. Completely unnecessary.
You're wondering, is Domino a wrestler in the winter? He is a basketball player, but that he might have a second calling right there. That wipes out a touchdown. But still, Iroquois now working with a 1st and 14. Pfeiffer jets up the middle. And he is, speaking of wrestled down, he is thrown down after a 9-yard pickup.
Well, it's nice to see them move the ball around and give, that's Nick Ciancio. He caught a great little pass out onto the left. Oh, that's my bad. That's Trey Pfeiffer. My eyes are getting bad up here, but nonetheless, 5 or 6, they're making great gains. It just shows you how much talent this offense has at their disposal.
And now the throw to Jackson Kleiser, another one of those weapons, and look at him accelerate down the sideline. However, there is another flag on the field, and it is holding on the outside again, which sprung that catch and run.
Well, it's a shame that they're calling so many flags on this, but what is a great thing for Iroquois is that they've had number 4, number 5, and number 6, and they've got Domino and they got Skutnik now getting into this game.
Repeat 2nd down.
And that's last year. They lost Gavin Dundon. They lost Sam Donovan. They lost Brady Wilkinson. And now it's getting that cohesion with Kleitz. And it's going against Skutnik there.
Let's see, you're teaching these guys to finish to the echo of the whistle, but you got to teach them to have their hands inside the frame of the body. Great blocks just can't be outside of the shoulder pads.
So here we go from the 39 again. This time it is a 2nd down and 11. Pfeiffer stays on his feet, and there he goes! Oh, what a run by Pfeiffer! Matching his jersey number with 6.
And the key to that score is spreading the ball around to multiple people. It's made Depew flat-footed, and they're taking the aggression right out of Depew because Depew doesn't know what to defend next.
A 38-yard touchdown run.
He just accelerates into the next level, and everybody that has been part of the game runs into the end zone with him. Look at that, 25-5, 68-6, and number 4. All part of the success in the first half and in the early 3rd quarter.
That's an ECMC touchdown. Go where the Bills go. And Pfeiffer going to the end zone for the 2nd time tonight. Don't forget about him with all these weapons now starting to populate this offense.
And this is the emergence of this new phase of this offense for his senior year. They went to their old guard early. Now you're starting to see these young guys with fresh legs get the ball, and it's affecting Depew because they're running from one end of the sideline to the other.
Kleitz to make it a 14-point game, 2-point good. Skutnik races in 27-13. Iroquois has flipped this game upside down with 21 unanswered points.
Yeah, no matter what the penalties they had to overcome, that was a great adjustment from the first half, and you see that they're spreading the ball out, spreading the wealth. Great job.
27-13, Iroquois on top. Tonight's closed captioning is exclusively brought to you by Buffalo Fresh Roof. And a fresh game here for Iroquois. They're down 13-6, 21 unanswered, and early it was the show of Kleitz and Skutnik. Now it's everyone getting involved, and I don't know how you stop it.
Well, I think you've got to start bringing the heat on the quarterback, dropping some people back off into coverage, but you got to start by getting some field position here.
And this is a team that lost 45-14 at Grand Island. A great team in week number 1. Ball be at the 43 to start. But to continue that thought, I asked head coach Robert Pizzonka from Iroquois, well, what did you learn? What are your takeaways? He said they could have had a better week of practice going in. He could have managed the game better. He said everything that could have gone wrong ultimately did. And for a team with high expectations because of what they returned, it really created a sense of urgency, and I think we've seen that from the opening kickoff tonight.
Well, and what you're finding is out of that sense of urgency, sometimes losing and realizing you aren't what you think you are, then you have to push yourself beyond the boundaries of last year's success, and they're starting to do that now. You're starting to see younger guys get some looks, and this defense has been very active, which I expect we're going to continue to see now that they have a big lead.
Schrader complete, hard hit, but somehow Luis Ayala stays on his feet. Domino finally wraps him up. No gain.
Iroquois starting to get a swagger about them. You know, they're home. It's a cool night. You know, the clock's running down in the third quarter, and all they got to do is keep being who they are. Because right now they've got fresh legs, and they're playing excited football, and they're playing to the echo of the whistle.
Brian Tripp, Scott Pilkey, Tyler Millen on the sidelines. Great to be with you here from Elma, New York, and Iroquois High School tonight. Redhawks 21 unanswered points. They have the lead midway through this third quarter. Low snap, Rajon Vance to his left, to his right, and nowhere to go on the play. Brondo and company make the tackle.
Great first 2 plays of this series. The defense is swarming. They're getting penetration. And here we were talking in the very first beginning of the game that Depew should be able to dominate the line. That's just not the case in this third quarter.
And here they face another 3rd and long. Travis Pizzonka's defense has really flipped the script here. Teams were able to bail themselves out with 3rd and long conversions in the opening half, but it's not where you want to be the entire football game. Need to get to the opponent's 47 for a first down. It's a good throw by Schrader, but open field tackle made on Velasquez, and he's brought down by Pasucci a yard shy of the first. Maybe 2 yards shy.
Well, now coming down this late, going for it here.
You feel it's a gotta-have-it situation, right? With that clock and the way Iroquois is humming?
I don't know. I mean, this is where I would take a shot at a pooch kick or bury him. Because, again, we're talking about here field position. And right now you got to give them the long field.
Well, Schrader is a guy who could kick the football away. Timeout, Iroquois. Ensuring that they're ready for whatever Depew's going to throw at him here on this 4th and 2 right near midfield. So what you would, Pooch, you would kick the ball away?
I think that I would have the option of that with the quarterback that I've got in there. He's an athlete. He's probably got a good little leg to him, and bury him. I mean, if you can make this, great too, but you don't have to make this right now.
Well, if Iroquois can come up with a stop, they may bury Depew. That segues perfectly to remind you that you should stay tuned. Later in tonight's game, we'll be highlighting the school bus stop of the game. The law in every state requires drivers to always stop for a school bus when the stop arm is out and the red lights are flashing. Meet, meet.
Well, the red lights are flashing, but it's Iroquois. They're popping all over the place here tonight. This is a really good game, very well coached.
That's where all the action's controlled from back there in our truck. That's where the real talent is, behind the scenes.
That's right. You know, I have a tendency to agree with you. I'm just glad they give me a slice of pizza before they let me go home. You know, hanging out with you. You know, you handle Penn State. Come on, let's stop it.
4th down and 2. Freiling up the middle, the fullback, extra surge. He's not going to get there. It's a stop for Iroquois. And maybe that is our school bus stop of the game. Donahue signaling the stop. This time, for once, he wasn't a part of the play. Noah Fulcher was in there leading the charge. That defense setting the tone.
Yeah, well, that's something that, you know, if you're going to go for that, put your guys in a 4-point stance. Put your guys in a 4-point stance and really use the size that you've got. You've got guys that are sitting up in a 2-point. This was an opportunity for Depew. Great job by Iroquois making that huge stop.
Yeah, I thought they'd use the quarterback, some of the weapons they have. Bryden Baker, I was surprised where they went with that 4th down play call.
You see Pizzonka is spreading the ball around. Mm-hmm. I think Depew is getting a little bit more conservative than they need to. Maybe they need to open it up because they had some great success in the first half with their quarterback as well.
Well, now that falls on their defense here as Iroquois takes over. Terrific field position right near midfield. Right, Iroquois chance to deliver the knockout blow. Depew, what kind of resiliency do you have again this week?
Well, you got to hope for a turnover. You've got to hope for some couple penalties going your way. But Iroquois had some penalties on that last drive that they were able to overcome. You had them in 3rd and long, and they were able to overcome it. You can't let somebody that you have in the first half, you were making the tackles a yard deep, or you were making the tackles at 1 yard. Now they're busting into your secondary because you're still keeping your secondary back. The game plan alone has dictated what the defense at Depew is supposed to do, and it's taken them out of their game, to be honest with you. Great job by Pizzonka and his players.
I'll be darned not sure what the stoppage is here for Al Fuller and the officiating crew. Ready for action. Iroquois a yard shy of midfield. Justice Kleitz in this offense unstoppable here over the last quarter and a half. Gets great protection, delivers for Skutnik, got free off the fingertips again. They're doing everything they can to contain him, but he can't be stopped. He was double covered and had room along the sideline.
Yeah, well, you look at him, they're giving him a threshold of 10 to 12 yards off. This guy can run a 5-yard route. He can run a hitch. He can run that funnel screen, which we've seen, but they don't want to give up the big play. And even though they're giving you that much depth, he still gets behind you and has a shot at it. A rare drop.
And that's a team and a coach, quarterback, wide receiver. They're going for the jugular right there.
Absolutely. They want to put this one away.
Quick pass to T.J. Domino. Run after the catch. And he picks up 7. Bryden Baker makes the tackle in his own territory at the 45.
And this is so key to now they're picking up the tempo, they're going no huddle, and now they can pretty much do anything they want to with only 3 yards to go, and it's 4-down territory.
See who threw one of the key blocks there, Skutnik. Pfeiffer, already a couple of touchdowns tonight, but he's wrestled down by Belsky. We'll give him a yard. Now a decision for Iroquois. If he gets stopped, great field position back to Depew, right? Decision time here with a 4th and 3 coming up.
I think you definitely go for it here. They haven't stopped them. That was the first time they've stopped them for under 5 yards in the last probably 7 or 8 plays. So right now you got the hot hand. Quarterback can run it. You can throw it out to one of 3 or 4 guys or hand it off on the inside the way they've been playing it the entire second half.
No hesitation for Robert Pizzonka. 4th and 3, must get to the 41. And the defense jumped offside. Kane Cremino, number 22, too eager there.
Dave. Dead ball encroaching on the defense. That's going to result in a 1st down.
And he's had command of the cadence all night. That's the second time he's drawn him off by changing up the cadence and the call. You see him, they put him in motion. This is just a well-trained offense right now, man.
Senior linebacker knew it immediately, too. That's a back-breaking penalty. It just feels like Iroquois is on the precipice now of delivering the knockout punch. Quaiser, 2 or 3, turns it into 4 or 5 with his extra effort. And Iroquois playing a physical football game, including their receivers and targets on the outside.
Some of the guys that are on this offensive line, for Iroquois, Owen Luders has been doing a nice job all night.
He's just a junior on that right side. Alex Schiffauer, really undersized, but a tenacious bulldog, the center you saw there.
And he plays Mike linebacker as well. Very tough kid.
Low snap. Kleitz handles it, takes it himself, gets back near the line of scrimmage, maybe even gains a yard on the play. Cremino drags him down, 3rd and 5.
Well, the funny part is Owen Luders is a nephew of a guy named John Ebish, who's a big guy from Buffalo, played for us back at Erie Community College back in the early 2000s. So great to see that young man generationally playing like his uncle did for us.
I'll tell you, doing these games with you, there is no more tight-knit football community than Western New York Buffalo High School football.
It's a little inbred at times up here, but it's a great town. We had some great football. We love it.
And I'm with the mayor of it. Skutnik on the slant.
Oh,
He's free again. Right on the money. And there he goes. The run after the catch and another touchdown for Skutnik. He has the hat trick. His third tonight. Iroquois breaking it open.
Well, Kleitz is just a class act. Great thrower. Poised, on the money. And you got to give Depew credit. Depew stepped up, but once you see that they can get behind you again, they didn't take 3 or 4 plays to figure that out. They did it immediately, and that is the key communication between Pizanka and his quarterback.
You see the high five there. Quarterback Justice Kleitz is having quite a night. It's an ECMC touchdown. Go where the Bills go. And Skutnik with a high arcing kick that is good. And Iroquois now leads it 34-13, 28 unanswered points. This combo's one of the best in the state. Kleitz and Skutnik this time 33 yards and another Iroquois touchdown. 34-13 here, late third quarter. Earning some food right here is Nick Skutnik, Justice Kleitz tonight. Pizza Delizia, Italian classics, supplying our crew with the food. Maybe that's where they'll head after the game, down the street. And if you see this ad and you mention it, you'll get $5 off your next large pizza. And a large night trio of touchdown passes from Kleitz to Skutnik. Ho-hum.
But just a great, I mean, look, 6 receptions, 154 yards, 3 touchdowns. I'm not very good at math, but that is a ridiculous in the yard after catch on this kid. He's a top college player if he wants to go on to the next level.
Yeah, he's really, really exceptional. He's got great track speed.
He really is.
He and Kleitz make up a dangerous combination. Rajon Vance looking for a spark for Depew. Runs it out to the 41-yard line. Riley made the stop. Okay, here's Depew. All of a sudden, it's 28 unanswered for Iroquois. They had a 13-6 lead starting the second quarter. What's happened here for this Wildcats team?
It's Kleitz. I mean, Kleitz is just the heartbeat. He gets the ball out. You can have a ton of great kids on your team, but if you don't have the delivery mechanism like Kleitz, he's a rare cat, man. He's a really good football player. I love watching this kid. Great decision maker and almost no time from his delivery. That's his best part. He delivers the ball quickly and on point.
Cole Schrader made a ton of plays, the junior quarterback in the opening half. Bryden Baker the catch, but then dropped immediately again. Riley made back-to-back plays. Stuck him. Everything that was working for Depew came out, tried to establish the run. That hasn't happened. Schrader made big plays, creativity in that first half. Just hasn't happened for this offense, and you got to tip your cap to the Red Hawks team.
Well, whatever they didn't do last week against Grand Island, they're doing tonight. They staying on point, staying on, making their adjustments. They're one step ahead of Depew right now, or 2 steps. I mean, they're playing at a different tempo, and that's because of their quarterback and having guys like Skutnik.
Say 15-point third quarter for Iroquois. And Depew got the ball to start the half. Donahue with the pressure, but downfield, wide open. What a response! Bryden Baker into the end zone. Not so fast. What a response by Depew.
And just like that, the young man is a junior, but he was probably sick and tired of hearing us talk about Kleitz, and he says, don't forget about me up there.
57 yards, Bryden Baker into the end zone. And just like that, a 2-score game. I'll tell you, Cole Schrader is a gamer. And when they took the ball out of his hands, that's when the offense stalled out tonight.
I agree. You can get conservative, slow things down, but when you have talent, let your talent play.
That 57-yard connection, another ECMC touchdown. And this to make it a 14-point game. Kick good from Schrader, 34-20. I didn't think we'd be talking about this at the end of the third quarter. Still 7 seconds left. And what a response by Joe Pagano's team. Just no quit from this Wildcat team.
You really got to respect about this young man is that he steps up. We see the pressure coming from the outside. He doesn't bat an eye, delivers it on point. And again, that's a junior.
And that's a split second away from Donahue. Watch him coming off the end here, getting home.
Yeah, Donahue's just played great all day. You can't let that guy behind you, too busy looking in the backfield. But, boy, Depew needed that, and they made it count when they needed it.
So officially we'll call it a 56-yard touchdown pass. And Bryden Baker already a 37-yard touchdown run tonight. He was a guy who had 85 rushing and 85 receiving yards in week 1. And credit Joe Pagano for dialing up the right play at the right moment to keep you tuned in.
Well, I really like his attitude. He came out here and said, look, we're here to play the best. We did our interview at halftime. And he says, look, they're good. But so is Depew. Depew is no slouch. They're really as competitive as anybody else in their division right now.
When you got this guy, Schrader, this is a big game for both these teams with implications that could go down. Special teams, a little bit of a sore spot tonight for both teams as that kick goes out of bounds. But this is a game where you got a junior quarterback, this type of stage, not a defining game. Regardless of what happens, you're trying to learn lessons that you apply once the weather starts to get a little bit cooler.
And week-to-week development is the key when you have, when your numbers aren't in the 50 to 60, you see them developing their kids, and their guys are getting better week to week.
And this is a group for Depew, too, that Joe Pagano was telling me about. He said they've been solid throughout. Every level they have won, so they're accustomed to it. They're not used to being in a game like this.
Well, Iroquois is starting to find their rhythm. They might not lose another game the rest of the season if they keep playing like this.
Obviously, Skutnik the star, but the ability to spread the ball around has really opened up the offense for Justice Kleitz, the 4-year starter, one of the best players in all the states. Trey Pfeiffer, a couple of touchdowns tonight. Looks for a block from Skutnik. He's going to need a few more blocks, though, as he's rolled down by the talented linebacker Kane Cremino on the outside. And that takes us to the end of an entertaining third quarter. 34-20. Iroquois in front, looking for their first win of the year. 1 quarter to play here on the law office of William Mattar's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Stellar Roofing. Tonight's closed captioning is exclusively brought to you by Buffalo Fresh Roof. I'm just seeing the replay on the screen. Second down and 8 for Iroquois, which had scored prior to that Depew touchdown. 28 unanswered. Depew says not so fast. Goes in, 7 points. Now all of a sudden, trying to at least make something happen here to start this fourth quarter.
Interested to see if they're going to go with more ball control or just keep playing open.
And it's going to be Justice Kleitz, just his second carry of the night. Another good designed run, though, picks up 6.
And that might be their plan here, is to start, getting the ball out quick, basically extending the run with little quick passes so he doesn't take any more shots, because Depew clearly has not been able to cover their talent all over the field, and he's able to get the ball out faster than people could break down and break on the football. And that's one of the things that makes him such a good quarterback, because when you got high school players that are going through their traditional drops and coverage based on the quarterback's eyes and read, he's that much faster than their footwork can respond. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, he is a smart kid. Called him the open of the broadcast, the All-American kid. What he's done, the awards he's won, what he means to his community, his relationship with his teammates, and so many others. It is really outstanding. Trey Pfeiffer. Everyone talks about the passing game. They've got the running game going here tonight. Pfeiffer picks up 8, and it is a first down brought to you by Express Windows. Now installing windows as low as $329 within 5 to 6 weeks. Just enough balance for this Iroquois offense.
Well, they gave him the look of the 3x1. I didn't catch it if that was a draw, but it was a pass look. A little delay on the handoff. Everybody had over pursued. He came back across to the backside A-gap, I believe it was. It's just a really nice run. Great awareness. Again, Pizzonka is a top-level play caller in Western New York, but it doesn't hurt having this guy as your quarterback.
13th year for Robert Pizzonka in the program, and his 9th season as the head coach. Guy you've known for a real long time, he and his brother, Travis.
Yes.
Brothers making up the coaching staff. Here's Skutnik, went the wrong direction, stayed on his feet. They're going for the big hit, and Skutnik backpedals his way, actually picks up 2 yards on the play. Roman Boyer tried to deliver the knockout blow. Instead, Skutnik just spun off the hit.
He took no less than 4 shots there, where if anybody had wrapped him up, he could have been down on the ground. Everybody's trying to knock him off his feet. I guarantee you that this young man is one of the stronger guys on the football field by the looks of him in the weight room as well.
Mentioned Boyer's name there. We saw him commit a costly penalty earlier, jumping offside. Tyler asked at the half, when's he going to get going? Richard Donahue has completely neutralized Boyer tonight.
Yeah, this is a great football, just a great football effort on both programs, but you can really see in 1 week what they had to do to get back to where they should be. And this is a full clicking offense right now by Iroquois.
Pfeiffer dropped on the tackle by Boyer, who second effort helped him hustle back to the football. That's one of the things that makes him so good, right? That's why he is an all-section defensive end, because he's got a motor that never stops. And look, he's going to be the focal point of an offensive blocking scheme, because when you put up 4 sacks in one game, everyone knows what you have.
Yeah, and, you got to give Coach Pizzonka and his staff, they were running the no huddle in the third period, or at least hurry up. Now they're taking their time, milking the clock, running the football with multiple people. This is a very, very good offense.
Approaching 8.5 to play, fourth quarter, up by 14 here in their home opener. Kleitz to his right, gets a big seam. Kleitz a first down and more. He's still going all the way down to the 30-yard line. A gain of 14 for Justice Kleitz and an Express Windows first down.
I mean, look at the variety of what they've offered in this offense. You got a great little back block, pull with the front side guard to the back side, and Kleitz just reads the front and does a great job getting to the second level, gets vertical as quickly as he can, and he's tough to bring down.
He is the complete package for sure for Iroquois. And that clock, certainly their friend right now as they continue to move the football. Depew has had no answer for the Iroquois offense over the last 2.5 quarters. Skutnik in motion, the throw over the middle, and completes again down inside the red zone. Skutnik was a decoy on the play, and that opened up Jackson Quaiser to make the catch. We're into the Willoughby Insurance red zone with another Express Windows first down. And he is a little bit shaken up there, Jackson Quaiser. That's the toughest play to make when you're a receiver coming over the middle.
Yeah, and the tackle was good. He got slammed to the ground a little bit, but he just got the wind knocked out of him a bit. I'm sure he'll be back.
Hurries his way over to the bench, and the athletic training staff will check on him as that clock continues to wind, and the ball spotted at the 19-yard line. Both coaches, as this season goes on, though, they are concerned about depth, as everyone is here in Western New York, and especially the B2 division. The size of these rosters. Trey Pfeiffer.
They're taking their time. They're setting up their blocks. They're handing the football off. I mean, he could be chucking the ball around all day, but this is just really good, sound calls and great football game plan, and they've executed it brilliantly. You know, they came out as one team in the first half, came out as a completely different team in the second half, where you only thought it was the Domino, Skutnik, and Kleitz. Now you've got 6 or 7 actors in this. They're going to be tough in the next 6-7 games.
Really dynamic offense, putting up gaudy numbers tonight. Timeout Iroquois as they were milking the play clock all the way down. Kleitz 14 for 21, 210 yards, 3 touchdowns. Pfeiffer up to 68 yards on the ground. Just a very dynamic offense. Let's take a look now at the school bus stop of the game. Always stop for a school bus when the stop arm is out and the red lights are flashing. How about this play by Stefano Pasucci?
Well, he had his arm out and he stopped the ball from being caught. That's about as good of a stop as you're going to get.
The school bus stop of the game.
He said, stop.
Always remember to stop when the school bus arm is out.
That's the bus stop of the game, baby.
That is our school bus stop of the game. Not stopping or trying to beat the stop arm puts lives at risk and can result in large fines, points on your license, and license suspension. Remember, that was back end of the second quarter. Depew going in, a chance to maybe double up. And instead, Iroquois flips the script, and second quarter, third quarter, dominant by the Redhawks. They just took over the football
And what
game.
it's showing you is that the technical development of their players, right? That was as good of coverage as you were going to get, and now you're seeing it's a skill. You know, the skill set that they have out here is pretty remarkable, considering how they took a beating last week. They really came out this week better prepared.
2nd and 9 from the 18. What a move by Justice Kleitz. He is slippery there in the backfield. Brought down by Belsky. 2, 3, 4 men he made miss on that play, and that's kind of been the case here for not just him, but a lot of these Redhawks there. Sneaky with that football.
Well, that was one of the low snaps that we've seen all day. There might have been 2 that were low, but you know, the O-line for Iroquois has done a great job today, protecting their quarterback, opening up holes.
You're telling me you're going to your point to the O-line. I'm not surprised by that at all. And that really, you have to win in the trenches to have success.
And really, they did. I mean, they've been steady.
So as the passing game, Domino makes the tricky catch and somehow finds his way into the end zone. What effort by T.J. Domino, and it's a 20-point Iroquois lead. Just another weapon, a plethora of targets here for Kleitz.
You know, I've seen a lot of quarterbacks with quick releases. Probably the best I saw in history was Joe Licata that came from Williamsville South over to the University of Buffalo in there. But Kleitz is that kind of a guy. I hope somebody takes a shot on him at a scholarship level, because he's got that level of command of his offense.
That is a Kaleida Health touchdown, the official healthcare provider of the Buffalo Bills. Trouble with this snap again, and the kick low and shanked to the left, but It's been all Iroquois. You're not gonna care about that when your team is taking over and beating up on a good team right now, Depew. 40-20 the score. What a throw by Kleitz. What a catch in traffic. How did he hang on? TJ Domino back into the end zone. All Iroquois. So Iroquois has opened up a 40-20 lead here on Depew. 5:17 to play, fourth quarter. Fourth touchdown pass tonight for Justice Kleitz. The first three went to Skutnik, and now Domino into the act as well. By the way, there's other guys that are a part of it, but those two are his A and B targets, and this is a very, very dangerous Red Hawks attack, and it has been on full display here. After a tough first quarter, they had just absolutely dominated the game.
I mean, they have three all-Western New York guys that you can see right now. You've got Kleitz, you've got Skutnik, and you've got number 68, Richard Donahue, who's just had a great game himself. So
Louis Ayala on the return out to the 34-yard line, and I'm glad you mentioned Donahue in that mix because of the way that he started this game here tonight. So just a dominant performance here. Don't forget to stick around after the game. We'll have the Law Office of William Mattar Thursday Night Lights trophy. It'll be presented to the winning team. It's designed by Southtown's Trophy. That coming up after the game. Third member of our team, Tyler Millen, will hand that out on the field to the victor of tonight's Week 2 Thursday Night Lights action. Great to be back with our entire crew. Scott Pilkey, Tyler Millen, and then everyone in the truck, Eric Carpy, leading the show. But this is, folks, this is high school football. This is one of the top TV productions, I'll tell you, I think across the country for football at this level. These guys pour their, and men, these men and women pour their heart and soul into these broadcasts. Throw on the money, and Tony Velasquez across midfield.
I mean, you really, some of the things that Depew has to be happy with, they've found that, they're not just a running team. Their quarterback, I mean, he's got a great arm. He's put the ball on point for a couple of big plays, and I just think it was a matter of a couple more big plays on the side of Iroquois. He's still trying to make things happen.
Schrader downfield.
If he didn't stop, that was potentially another touchdown.
Velasquez, you want to see him run through the ball.
Yeah,
there.
Finish all the way through.
Schrader is just he's got moxie. He's a baller.
Yeah, and, look at the athletes he's got. Velasquez is no joke. If he had just kept running, that's a touchdown. He stands at, he's at 5'11", 194 pounds.
I saw that earlier. I didn't believe that one.
I think he's a little bit bigger.
A typo. That one might be a typo.
Might be a bit bigger than that. Maybe 6'1". He's a well put together young man, and you see a lot of Bridge is a great one. I don't know. He's a good-looking kid at 5'11", 194. But they've got some talent on both sides of the ball.
If he's 5'11", I'm listing you at least 5'10 and a half.
Me, that only if I'm standing on a stilt.
Throw incomplete this time. A lot of traffic there over the middle. Yeah, there's a lot of talent on this Depew team. I think there's a lot of reasons to be optimistic about where this is going the rest of the way. We don't have one of those height charts behind us here, so you're safe.
Well, it wouldn't matter anyway. But, when you start to see these guys playing to the degree that they are only in the second week, the coaches have made tremendous adjustments at halftime. Both coaches did, but Pizzonka has, he's got the big-time cats right now, and that's what is the difference, the talent.
I see it all across Section 6 in the back of broadcast booth. We're going to have those charts, just like back in the kitchen back in the day. Mom and Dad drawing the pencil marks on the wall back behind us.
You mean I can't say that I'm 5'8" and 5'9" in shoes anymore?
Tyler Freiling on the receiving end of that pass. 4th and 2 after the catch.
There's only one guy in this place that I'm a little bit taller than, and that's Coach Pagano.
Yeah, he's your contemporary right there.
I'm better looking, but he's running a heck of a game today. He's done a great job for his first year. I love his demeanor. You can tell his kids like playing for him. He's doing a really nice job with this program so far.
He said he's known this group in particular for a long time. Here's a 4th and 2. And going to shovel it forward. Good little alert play to get Tyler Freiling again. Back-to-back plays. Schrader's been able to find Freiling, and that extends the drive. But Pagano was joking. He said he knows this team well. Scott, break this down first.
Yeah, again, we're seeing Schrader do things with his feet, but his awareness is great too. He knows what he needs. He gets the ball out. He could have taken it himself, but he got there faster with the little forward shuffle.
Pagano, his daughter is also a senior in the school, so he's known these kids because they've grown up with his family for the longest time. I did not ask the question, though, would you allow her to date any of your player, or which one would you choose?
I tell you, for a gentleman of his easy demeanor, I don't think that there's anybody on that team that's going to give him a hard time.
Domino chasing. Now some other reinforcements come from Donahue. He got popped. Schrather throws downfield, intercepted.
By guess who?
Going to put an exclamation point on the night for Skutnik. What a game tonight. A trio of touchdowns. And now Nick Skutnik comes up with an interception to ice it.
It just, look at what, they're trying to win the game. There's no quit in either team. And, really impressive night. Look, the pressure comes up the middle. Pressure's on the outside. Great adjustment. Rolls out. Just trying to find anything. Looks downfield and hopes that his guy's coming back. Just too much talent out there for him to overcome tonight. But, boy, great effort on both sides of the ball.
I love that. That play is the type of game we had here tonight. Both teams pouring their heart and soul into this Thursday night effort.
Yeah. This is both of these teams are going to finish with winning records this year.
These are two really good football teams, but Iroquois here in their home opener. Trey Pfeiffer around the left side. He's pretty close. I think he's got it. And it looks like a 10.5-yard pickup for an Express Windows first down. For his size and his agility, Pfeiffer's got a little pop to his game as well. He's got some physicality.
He's got moxie. He's got moxie, and that's one of the attributes of a good quarterback. Whether it's Kleitz, these guys just have command of what they do, and they make things happen with their feet and their arms.
They'll run the play clock down. Well, clock stopped at the moment here because of the first down in the out of bounds, but they'll try to use all the clock here on this drive and not force their defense back onto the field. Another low snap handled by Kleitz back into the hands of Pfeiffer. Drags a much bigger defender, and the sophomore picks up 3.
And you can see, even though there's not a ton of numbers on their roster, they're developing depth in their younger players because they're growing up in that system. You have one more year with Kleitz, and you got to get every single thing you can get out of every single one of your skilled players. They're just doing a great job in developing guys that maybe before we got here tonight we only knew about 2 or 3 guys. Guess what? There's 4 or 5 others on this field that you've got to pay attention to and plan for.
No doubt about that. Pfeiffer 7 carries, 83 yards, a couple of touchdowns himself here tonight. He looks for his first career 100-yard game, and he may have an opportunity to get it here by carrying the rock down the stretch. There's 3 more yards for the sophomore running back. Brought down by the man we started talking about tonight, Roman Boyer of Depew. Timeout taken by Depew. Joe Pagano not going to leave anything left in his back pocket here. We're going to take this one with him. 40-20, Iroquois in front. You're watching the law office of William Mattar's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Stellar Roofing. Iroquois looks to take the last 2:41 off the clock here, fourth quarter. This game was a one-score game at the half. Depew actually led at one point, 13-6. And on what is just a terrific Thursday night for football, great setting, great facility, great hospitality here tonight. The home Red Hawks are going to even their record at 1-1.
What a way to bounce back, right?
In a big way after what I think they would tell you and man up and say, a disappointing Week 1 performance. Nothing disappointing about the performance by Trey Pfeiffer tonight. 6 more yards and another Express Windows first down. He runs with physicality for a guy of his size.
Well, and like you said, you want to stay on your game plan. You want to execute it well, and I think that's what it comes down to, is the execution of the game plan. The offensive line is big enough. The offensive line is thorough enough. You've got great quarterbacks, and you've got a lot of support people around. This guy is just phenomenal.
And there he is, that phenomenal guy. Well, there's Justice Kleitz, Jackson Quiser, just a sophomore, right? That's another one of the young guys that'll bring along. And imagine where he's going to be. The same with Pfeiffer 3-4 weeks from now.
Well, and now that they're all on the same page, they can put their entire offense back in play like they had last year.
Pfeiffer spins, stays on his feet over the 100-yard mark tonight. He has 13 yards and another Express Windows first down. Well, Iroquois will be back at home next week to take on Dunkirk before a big test on a Saturday at Lackawanna to wrap up this month of September. 3 of their next 4, though, at home, including tonight. That's always good for a team that got off to a tough start in Week 1.
They almost needed that. And I think when you talk to Coach Pidzonka at the end of the year, that Grand Island game actually was probably better for them. You don't want to take a beating like that. But when you can come back like this against a really good football team that was 1-0 coming into here and dominate the second half like they have, this is really impressive. It says a lot about what do they say, the intestinal fortitude of your team.
And they're doing it with their physicality at the line. Does he have a fourth in him? Skutnik, skitters on free. Nick Skutnik just showcasing everything that he's got in his bag of tricks out to the 30. And they've dominated at the line of scrimmage. Donahue started it, but now it's been a team effort. And that's the physicality that they were missing in Week 1.
He's on a different level. I mean, this young man can play probably at a scholarship level, Division II, FCS, got great grades, or a top Division III football player out of Western New York. He is definitely one of the better football players I've seen in the last couple of years, all-around guys.
I think you'll be saying that about a bunch of players on this Iroquois team. At the end of the year, Nick Ciancio does get to the end and then jets down the sideline. First down brought to you by Express Windows. He's thrown out of bounds. Flags come in.
Little late hit out. They should just pick it up, wave it off, though, at this point.
Does take us down inside the Willoughby Insurance red zone. Willoughby will when nobody will. Frustration there coming out for Depew.
Dead ball, personal foul, here. It's going to be a first down, right?
See if Iroquois goes into the victory formation now.
Yeah, why risk anything else?
All it takes one play, no matter what, and you'll regret. I don't know that that's in their vernacular, though, right now.
Well, he competes to the end. He's one of those coaches, but he takes a victory in a snap. End of the game. Tremendous effort by Iroquois. Great game to watch. Great job working with you tonight and our staff and everything else. So, excellent job.
This was fun. Iroquois wins it 40-20, and the Red Hawks even their record at 1-1 on the year with a terrific final 3 quarters of football. They come from behind. I know you see that final. They come from behind and pick up the victory with their stars being the stars tonight. Kleitz, Donahue, Skutnik, Domino, and more. Pfeiffer and company, 40-20 the final. Stick around for our presentation of the trophy coming up here on the law office of William Mattar's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Stellar Roofing. This is what it's all about. High school football back here on the law office of William Mattar. Thursday Night Lights presented by Stellar Roofing. Brian Tripp, Scott Pilkey. We're going to check in. Tyler Millen's getting ready for the trophy presentation down in the field. But I look at this year, 40-20. Iroquois wins it. Both teams now 1-1. But the sportsmanship between both teams after the game, two teams, big game, left it all on the line. I come away out of this game, both programs, just kudos to both coaches and both teams.
Well prepared, and both coaches did a great job and have mutual respect for one another. They're going to be playing against each other for a long time to come, and who knows, maybe towards the end of the season too.
Yeah, they could see each other again. These are two playoff football teams.
Yeah, potentially. Yep.
Tonight's the law office of William Mattar. Thursday Night Lights trophies are designed by Southtown's Trophy, and Tyler Millen's ready to hand that to the winning Red Hawks of Iroquois.
Coach, congrats on a bounce-back win. What does this win say about this team's ability to bounce back after a Week 1 loss?
Well, it's part of our climb. Our mental toughness is handling adversity and is responding the right way, and these guys did tonight. So it's great to be 1-0. Next week we hit reset, and we're focused on going 1-0 once again.
28 unanswered points at one point in this game. What does it say about this offense's ability to be consistent over the course of the second half?
Well, when we do our job and what we're coached to do, we're as powerful as anybody in the section. What we got to do now is keep tying that together with our practices, focusing on the little things, and then come back ready for next week.
Coach, congrats on the Week 2 win. This is yours.
Yeah.
Justice Kleitz, that's the man he is. One big happy family here at Iroquois. That's a special team. It's special leadership, special group. And Scott, they have big things coming up the rest of the year. Really big things coming up for this team.
Well, watching both of them play and knowing both of these coaches and the programs that they're going to have going forward, it was class personified on this Thursday Night Light. Great working with you tonight. Thank you.
Same thing, my friend. We'll be back in 2 weeks for our next Thursday Night Lights broadcast. I hear there's a football game. Bills are playing next Thursday,
bit.
right?
Yeah, a little something called the Buffalo Bills, yeah.
Williamsville East and McKinley, our next broadcast, Thursday, September 25th at 7 o'clock. That is from All High Stadium, and that will wrap up our first month of high school football action here on the law offices of William Mattar. Thursday Night Lights presented by Stellar Roofing. So long for now, though. For Scott Pilkey, Tyler Millen, our outstanding crew, I'm Brian Tripp saying so long. We had a good one tonight from start to finish. We'll see you next time here. Thanks for tuning in. This has been the law office of William Mattar's Thursday Night Lights presented by Stellar Roofing.
All of us would like to take a moment to thank the wonderful sponsor partners, William Mattar, Stellar Roofing, Aesthetic Associates Center, and the University of Buffalo, who through their contributions to the program make these games possible for you viewers at home. We'd also like to thank our other great sponsor supporters for their contributions to our 2025 Thursday Night Lights telecasts. And we especially like to thank tonight's participating high schools and their administrators for their continued support.